Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into the midnight edition of the Financial Education Channel. Earlier today, I posted the 3 stocks I'm planning on buying in November 2018, and I want to talk about some other stocks today because some other stocks got absolutely hammered today. 3 in particular: Tilray, Amazon, Netflix. I want to talk about these 3 stocks. I think they fell for different reasons. I think they are falling. They are not just like they had this one day, like they've had a lot of bad days, and I kind of want to talk about my viewpoints on why those particular stocks are falling right now. So I hope you guys enjoy this. As always, hit a thumbs up if you do, and let's get into this. So first off, let's discuss Tilray. I want to start out with Tilray here, then we'll get on to Amazon and Netflix, okay? So back, a month or so ago, or 2 months ago, I posted a video called Huge Bubble in the Stock Market. This is the biggest bubble I've ever seen in the stock market, and I talked about a lot of the pot stocks, and the face of that was Tilray, okay? I talked about that. Now that video was posted on September 19, 2018, and on that particular day, Tilray hit an all-time high of $300 a share. Tilray hit $300 a share on that particular day. It was unbelievable. What a day for to post that video and whatnot. Now Tilray, if you didn't know, is about $90 a share, meaning it is down, roughly 60%, maybe more than 60% since that video was posted, back on September 19th there, okay? Now, to be fair against Tilray, it's not just they're the only, pot stock that has fallen. We have Canopy, which has fallen in literally the last 2 or 3 weeks. It went from over $50 a share to about $33, which is probably the best of the bunch in my opinion. Now, Furia is down to under $10 a share, and that one was around $15+ a share, literally just a couple weeks ago, all right? So there's one huge reason on why I believe these stocks have fallen so massively, basically since I put out that video, and especially within the last few weeks. And it's what traders like to call buy the hype and sell the reality, okay? What basically happened is in the spring and summer, you had so much excitement going on in the pot space, and you had these stocks just flying up and going up and going up. It seemed like every single day, with Canada agreeing that they're going to legalize recreational pot. And then all of a sudden, it actually happens, okay? October 17th was a day, okay, it's legal now. And basically, since that day, it has just been an absolute disaster for these stocks. They've just, completely gone down and down and down, with Tilray being the poster child of this, okay? This happens in every single hot space that I've seen in the stock market pretty much ever, okay? I remember it happened with the 3D printing stocks. It happens with, last year it happened with stocks that were involved with cryptocurrencies. So much money flooded into any stock that was cryptocurrency related. Didn't matter if they had a business plan around it or not. If they just had some dream of becoming some cryptocurrency player, their stocks just went up like crazy. Every single time there's something hot, traders will jump all over and they'll just buy it like crazy. It sends prices skyrocketing, which you saw with all the pot stocks. Tilray once again being the poster child of this. And then what ends up happening is all of a sudden the reality hits, and then all of a sudden these stocks just go down and down and down and down and down, and it gets worse and worse and worse, okay? Now, in my opinion, the pot stocks, a lot of them do have good long-term futures. In my opinion, a lot of them just got massively overbought, okay? Tilray going to $300 was ridiculous, and I know a lot of people didn't like me coming out with that video and explaining that was ridiculous, but now I think a lot of people are starting to see, like, yeah, he was right. Like, that was absolutely ridiculous that Tilray started to trade up at $300. Like, it made literally no sense. Just traders just get in these stocks, they ride the rallies, and it just seems like it goes up and it goes up and everything's great and it's grand. And then all of a sudden, when things actually, the reality actually comes, everybody sells it off, and then the selling breeds more and more selling, and the stocks just get absolutely hammered. A lot of them have gone down 30, 40, 50, 60+% literally within the last month or two. It's been an absolute disaster there. So that's my personal opinion. Just a lot of these stocks got, frankly, they got way overbought. You could make a case that some of them are still overbought even after these massive falls. There are a couple of them that you can make a case that maybe, are priced somewhat fair based upon whether their long-term trends are, but there's still a lot in that space right now that are still overvalued even after this massive fall, guys. And so that, in my opinion, is exactly what has happened with Tilray. It's just, traders jumped in it, they rode that wave, so much money piled in, and then as soon as, it started to reach around the date that everything was going to get actually legalized, boom, it was just nothing but downward from there in a massive, massive way, okay? Now let's go ahead and talk about Amazon and Netflix, okay? So a few months ago, I posted a video on the channel, and I didn't get a ton of hate for this video, but I got some hate, especially from Amazon, Netflix shareholders. I talked about why Amazon and Netflix stocks were overvalued, okay? And that video was published on July 11, 2018, all right? Now, shortly after I posted that video, if you look at the chart here, Amazon went up, okay? So when I posted that video, Amazon was just under $1,800 a share. Next thing you know, a month or two later, a month and a half later, it was over $2,000 a share, and people were like, you're crazy, you don't know what you're talking about, this and that. Now all of a sudden, Amazon's fallen to about $1,500 a share, so a decent amount lower than when I posted the video. Netflix, on the other hand, from the time I posted that video, it literally just kind of went down and down and down. It was $415 or somewhere around there when the day I posted that video. Now it's around $280 something a share. Now, these stocks, in my opinion, it's a little different reason than Tilray, okay? So Netflix, if we look at this company, there's a company right now that has a 67-ish forward PE on it, okay? And that's even after this huge fall it's had. It's still at a 67 forward PE. Never mind what it was at when I actually did that video. It was like, I think at 80 or 90 or something like that at that time, okay? Amazon right now has a forward PE of 59 on it, okay? A very, very high forward PE on that company, all right? Now, these stocks are completely divergent from the other big tech stocks. Now, these other big tech stocks I'm going to show you also have very strong growth, and some of them actually have stronger growth than Netflix and Amazon, okay? Let's look at some of the other big dogs out there. Facebook, we're at a forward PE of 17, okay? This is a company that's growing 20, 30+% right now. We have Apple, which still has very nice growth, trading at a forward PE of 15. We have Google McDougal trading at a forward PE of 21 with still very, very nice growth behind it, all right? Microsoft, very strong growth right now, trading at a forward PE of 20 right now, all right? And so what I believe has happened here with Amazon and Netflix is all of a sudden when times get tough, valuations finally start to matter, all right? They finally start to matter. You cannot have all these other big tech names trading at PEs between, let's say, a 15 and 25. Some of them, or most of those I just showed you, weren't even at a 25. Most of them are between 15 and 20. Meanwhile, you have Amazon and Netflix who don't have that much strong. Like, look at Apple's numbers, Google's numbers, Microsoft numbers, Facebook numbers. Look at their numbers versus Amazon and Netflix. Look at their revenue growth of those companies versus Amazon and Netflix. You'll find that they're pretty in line with actually what Amazon and Netflix are doing. The only difference comes in that Amazon and Netflix have ridiculous PEs on them, okay? So when all of a sudden times get tough, all of a sudden people start to actually value companies again and start to look at this and they're like, wait a minute. I'm in a stock right now that has a 80 forward PE on it and has 20% growth. That's nice. 20% growth is nothing to sneeze at, but paying an 80 forward PE on it is a little mind-blowing, okay? This happens every single time there's volatility in the market or times get tough. People just start realizing, wait a minute, I should start, actually valuing these companies out, because what ends up happening is every time the stock market is just going up and going up, no one looks at balance sheets and no one starts looking at PE ratios. They just become like unimportant all of a sudden, okay? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. You should always look at balance sheets. You should always look at PEs, especially if they're their core positions. Then you should very, very much be looking at those, okay? But whenever the times are great and the market's just going up, people stop looking at balance sheets. They stop looking at PE ratios and they're like, oh, that company has great growth. Let's just ride it, man. Let's just ride it. And then all of a sudden their cards come crumbling down a little bit, and then all of a sudden people start getting scared and they're like, wait a minute. This company has a ridiculous PE on it right now, okay? In my opinion, Amazon and Netflix need to trade somewhere around where these other companies are trading at. They should not be, in my opinion, still trading at these ridiculous PE ratios, okay? Now, for someone that might say, well, Jeremy, you hold Netflix shares, right? Or not Netflix, you hold Tesla shares right now. Who are you to point the finger at Netflix and Amazon when you hold Tesla shares, okay? There's a massive difference between Tesla and what Amazon is doing and Netflix are doing, okay? Their growth are on completely different ranges, okay? Tesla right now is growing revenues 100+% year over year. I mean, we're talking in the past quarter, it was like something like 150% year over year. This type of growth is like parabolic, like on a whole other level than versus these other companies. Netflix and Amazon are growing between 20% and 30% revenues right now, okay? So these are massively different companies that are growing at much different speeds. Tesla has the most breakneck growth I've ever seen from any large company ever. I've never seen a company that had multi-billion dollars type revenue coming in every single quarter and was growing revenues at 100% plus clip. I've never seen this before. And keep in mind, they're not even selling Model 3 to China, Europe, or some of those markets yet, okay? They haven't even started leasing out Model 3s or any Teslas in general. Imagine when they start doing that. Imagine when Model Y, like Tesla has years ahead of it of 50% plus growth rates, where Netflix and Amazon are pretty much stuck in this 20 to 30% range and will be going down likely to all of a sudden a 15% range, then a 10% range unless they acquire some other big companies, okay? So they're on two totally different level playing fields, guys. But all of a sudden, this always happens when all of a sudden the market gets rough, volatility happens. People start looking at the values of these companies and they start saying, "Man, maybe I shouldn't be in this." And they start to realize that it's foolish to own some stocks out there that don't have that great of growth and yet are trading at 80, 90 PEs on them, guys. We're talking about forward PEs, never mind even like the current PEs or the trailing 12-month PEs. We're talking about what they're expected over the next year, guys. This is ridiculous. So in my opinion, as far as the pot stocks go, they're in a tough position right now, okay? They're in a really tough position because you have so much trader momentum out of them now, okay? They may still, have to bottom from here, okay? I'm not going to go out there and say, oh, they've hit the bottom. They might have further to fall here, and eventually they'll kind of catch up, and then eventually a long-term investor base will completely come in those companies, and they will ride, but that might take a little while. As far as Amazon and Netflix go, if the market continues to kind of be stagnant or weak, I think these type of stocks can, continue to fall, because if the market continues to weaken or if we're in a stagnation type period, I think there's a lot of people are going to realize like these valuations on Amazon and Netflix are just ridiculous. I have nothing against Amazon. I love Amazon. Like I preach about Amazon all the time and how much I believe in that company. But at its valuation, it makes it ridiculous, okay? Netflix, I think, has a great opportunity, but they have a massive amount of competition coming in 2019, and they're trading still at a ridiculous forward P ratio, okay? So, that's my beef with those companies. It's not that I don't believe in them or something. It's just like sometimes things get overbought, okay? I could sell you this watch for, I don't know, $1,000, and that might be a good deal to you, or you might be like, dude, that's massively overvalued. That watch is not worth $1,000. Like, there's always a value to everything out there. And sometimes things just get very overpriced and very underpriced. And that's the magic of the stock market. That's the beautiful thing about it, because when things get massively underpriced, you can make so much money over the coming years. And when things get way overpriced, hey, as a short seller, you can make a lot of money on that downside too. So I hope you guys enjoy this as always. Let me know if you own any of those stocks down there in that comment section. I would love to hear from you guys as always. If you want to come to my conference, that's linked in the description. Thank you for watching and have a great day.